everybody. This is Richie from the Metal Cell podcast. First of all, I want to give a shout out to our main sponsors, Rise and Sons, the award-winning brewery in Cork. If you are around Cork, be sure to pop in for one of those famous pints of theirs over the summer, or what's left of the summer. There's only a few weeks left in August. Jesus Christ, thoughts of it. Anyway, let's get back to the main show. We've got Letty here from the Metal Cell. How are you, Letty? Thanks for joining
I'm
us.
I'm good. I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and we've Cormac from Eyes Eternal down below
Hello.
there. Thanks, Cormac,
Thank you
for
for having
joining
me.
us tonight.
Pleasure to be here. Thank you very much.
Welcome to the show, my friend. Welcome to the show. I think you might have been on before with the Ashiri project.
Yeah, I think the last time I was here for all shy, I think we were plugging the kind of wrap up gig we were doing
Yes.
last time I remember. I remember it was like only a little bit after I did that with Dara and the rest. He ended up asking me to join Arenda. So yeah, that gig led to good things.
Yes, there you go, man. Maybe we'll just talk about that. As an artist yourself, Cormac, how did you find Ashiri? Like, did it definitely opened up friendships, I think, for a lot of people that like didn't know each other and stuff, and music collaborations that formed out of it as well, maybe?
Yeah, I've definitely noticed a lot of bands I'm seeing are recruiting members or new things are starting from people who've just met via Shirey. I
Mm.
think just the goodness of the project was it showed you which musicians were actually dedicated and would do things with, as needed.
Yes.
Like, you know a lot of musicians and you don't know how they are in a band situation, whether they'll actually go to practice, whether or not they're gonna put in the work. With Shirey, there was no getting away with it.
Yeah.
It basically showed up, okay, these are the best musicians and are the ones who will actually do what needs to be done.
Yeah.
And I think it was just really good because it just gave us something to do because we were all just stuck in lockdown, not able to do a damn thing. And we just
Yeah.
experiment, work with people we wouldn't normally work with. Like I did a
Yes,
trash
exactly.
song, even though I quit the trash stuff years ago. Put out a
Yeah.
song that I thought I'd never release because it was just too melodic.
Mm. I
And
was
also
talking
just
to
gave me an
Dara.
excuse to be
Yeah.
disgustingly liberal with a grindcore song.
I was talking to Dara because that's the next week's podcast in Aborted Earth. I have them on, and just talking to Dara about Ashiri as well. Like, I mean, like I said it to him on the show, like how creative he was anyway, and
Oh yeah, yeah.
just again looking at all the friendships you all made through it, and working remotely as well, writing music. It was just something completely different and out of the norm, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's like I kind of been working just in my own bedroom for a few years before that, just doing demos and stuff like that. But I feel
Mm.
like that's what really pushed the idea really that hey, this is a legit way of running a band or doing music in this age.
Yeah.
And you don't have to hire a big studio or you don't have to get all five members in one room or you're not a
Yeah.
proper band.
Mm.
Yeah.
What about your opinion of Ashiri? Did you enjoy it,
Ah,
Letty?
yeah, I really enjoyed it. Just getting to flex my muscles, try and give me a bit more confidence as a producer,
Yeah.
uh, as a musician. Like I pushed myself out really hard on a few of those songs. Like
Mm.
Born Under a Bad Sign. That's the most technical thing I've ever done just on bass. Like I was even saying to the lads, I don't even think I can do this.
Oh,
But
is that who was on that? I'm guessing now. Was it Carl? No?
it
Born
was
Under
Tom
Bad.
Woodlock.
Oh, fuck it. Okay, that was that. Yeah.
Uh, he did the drum programming and the vocals. That was Connor James, who
Jesus,
did
you're
went
right.
on to do
Yeah.
2012 for a while, and then we had Rats, sound guy for the scratch, doing a lead guitar solo, and then Jack Penders mixing it.
Fuck. What a
Yeah,
Nice.
that's a
combination.
proper tech Dell lineup, and then I somehow fit in there.
Someone's got to lay down the bass.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. It's not as easy as you think it is.
Letty, what did you think of the whole Ashiri project? Were you convinced that it would work at the start, and were you impressed with the outlay in the end?
Yeah, I really did like it. I liked all the I just loved how technical and melodic it was at the same time. It really, really did grow on me. I listened to it about 5 times.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it did catch a lot of people by surprise because there were some people in the scene who just uh, did not believe in the idea and were like making fun of it.
Mm.
And like
Yeah.
I could look at a few of them going like, "So, still making fun of it? Was it 3 grand or so raised for charity, three
Yeah,
albums on a live show later. Still making
yeah,
fun of it? Don't think so.
yeah.
You proved them all wrong.
Exactly. And you know what? Another thing that I think it was just the sheer quality of the songs that came out of it. It's a lovely bookend to mark the end of COVID and come out of there. You know, you've got 3 albums worth of material there, and as you said, a lot of friendships made and a lot of collaborations that may still be being investigated, or people are still trying to work stuff out together. And long may it last. Really, it united a lot of solo artists, I would say, like yourself, Cormac. Anyway.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's one thing that really came out of it was no learning about musicians who are very no been very hidden. Maybe they have 1 or 2 friends, but they never really done the whole gigging scene. Because let's face it, some musicians just don't like the gigging scene. It's just not for them.
Mm,
But very much was,
Mm.
hey, we got something to show here.
yeah. And were you working on this EP the whole time as well while you were doing a Shirey?
No, I've had this. This is a funny story. So I've had this done since June, July 2020.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a weird story. What happened was, I quit my old band Genova in October 2017. Took like a year and a bit out just because I'd already done a fair few years of heavy gigging at that stage. I just needed a bit of a rest.
Hmm.
Needed to sort out my working situation. And yeah, I decided, okay, you know what? I'm gonna get back into the gigging scene. Keyword gigging scene. I'm gonna make my own EP. I'm gonna use as a calling card. Say, hey, I've got 4 tracks of good quality music here. Did it at home. Just need to learn it off. We'll write some more stuff, or I could just write at home, whatever suits the band best. Went to the studio with Damien, doing session for the job. Uh, the last of it got recorded February 29th, 2020, key date, because that was we were in Belfast, and it was the day COVID was first discovered in Belfast.
Wow, up with Josh.
Yeah, up with Josh. Yeah, he saved that project. Like, no, saved it. Like, I'm not gonna go into it because I don't want to call out a terrible producer. But basically, there was a lot of technical screw ups caused by the other producer, and Josh saved the whole project.
Wow.
Yeah, and then we got it all done, mixed and mastered. I had the idea of, at this COVID, it'll blow over by June. When I put the first single out thinking, yeah, that'll get some momentum going. Then we're all coming back. Everyone remembered that one band who did release stuff during the pandemic.
Yes.
Then
Yeah.
it rolled on and rolled on. I still had the idea of, it'll be a live band, so no point releasing something for a live band when we're stuck indoors.
Mm.
So I just kept it on hand. So I'll release it when pandemic's over. Pandemic ended, but by then I had different problems. Like I had a different band at El Shirey. I had a living situation problem where essentially I was nearly became homeless for a little while. Not the greatest. And then I had a render pop up, so I'd never had a good time to release it.
Okay.
Then last November came, I realized I've had this EP for nearly 3 years now. I need to get it out. And I just said, okay, at this stage, I've got to render this the main live thing. So I'm not gonna have time to do Hardy Turtles the live thing.
Okay.
So what I'll just do is I'll just get it out there, do some Twitch shows behind it, and just start promoting it as a studio project.
Mm.
That was in November. Then I had a bloody CD distributor jerk me around for a couple months. And then eventually I got the CDs and I was just in go mode. I was like, okay, I'm not even going to take about 2 weeks. I'm putting it out from now, putting it to post now, so I can't get it back out of it.
Yeah. Fucking hell. Like that whole period, like, I mean, 2020, like 3 years of you moving through different cycles of your life, and obviously a lot of stress as well. Had you much time to sit down and write a bit of music for yourself after that?
Well, yeah, I always am trying to write. I think the last year I kind of found my groove a little bit more. Obviously, I'm writing with Horrenda now, so putting rips towards that.
Yeah.
But I am, whenever I feel like experimenting, I do kind of write under Potential Eyes Eternal, just because like that feels like the band I'm gonna do weird experimental stuff.
What are they called?
So, Sorry, no, I just call them weird experimental stuff, like, or
Oh, I
that's why
thought
I
you said
send Icy Turtle.
some kind of turtle.
Oh no, no time for
I
that.
thought you this cosmic name as well. Like,
No, no, like no, just I'm just whenever I'm just like writing, even like e.g. with like an H string or a guitar in a weird tuning, I kind of just say, okay, you know what, maybe this is an Icy Turtle track, maybe it's not, whatever. So I'll write
okay,
riffs here and there, but I've got maybe two, three tracks that I could definitely say, yeah, that's definitely Icy Turtle material.
yeah. I passed
Figure
on
out
the
plan now.
EP to Letty anyway. Letty, what was your opinion on it?
Again, it caught me by surprise. I listen to a lot of the albums and stuff that Richie sends me while I'm playing a game called Euro Truck Simulator. I don't know if you've ever heard of it.
Yeah, I know that.
Well, barreling down the M1 or the motorway at like 80 kilometers an hour while listening to some black metal, it caused some accidents.
That's a
In a
Oh,
great
good
ad
way.
for it. You might crash your car while driving, while
I
listening.
went over the barrier.
fucking hell. That's just hilarious, Letty. The stuff that the show brings out in people. Euro driver,
I'm
a
more
truck
surprised
simulator.
that I'm more
Yeah.
surprised Euro Truck Simulator has like the M50 in. I just presumed it was just general American highway.
No, there's a separate one called American Truck Simulator. So that's in America, and then Euro Truck is in Europe. So it's got the UK, Croatia, all of them. You can buy DLCs for Spain and Portugal.
Wow, I just thought
Fucking
it was
hell.
just gonna be general roads, like
No, they've
randomly
got like
generated.
you can
Actually, actual roads. That is
yeah, you
brilliant.
can see like landmarks from like 3 pixels away, maybe.
And
I
you've
was wondering.
lasting eyes eternal. I love it.
Yeah,
Fantastic. Well, it's always a good thing anyway. And that's always my test is to have it in the car, and play it in the car. And Cormac, congratulations on it, man, because I think it's one of the best EPs released this year, without a doubt.
Thank you.
So absolutely loved it. There's so much going on with it. There's so much variety as well, isn't there, Letty?
yeah. I was actually one of my questions was for like the really extreme screaming parts. Like do you have a vocal routine for warming up, or like how do you keep your voice in check?
I don't. No, I kind of just learned the general technique. I haven't been able to practice it much these days. And back then, I definitely wasn't practicing. Literally, my only way I could sing was when I was recording. That's it. So maybe I do like
Oh,
a quick warm up with, a bit of Slipknot or whatnot, or generally just go straight into it. And I kind of developed like a kind of carcassy sort of sound.
mm.
Mm.
And then it's literally just double up the vocals, maybe do a little growl here or two, and then I just said to Josh, as I know I'm not the best screamer or whatnot, just do what you can with it and just make it something I wouldn't expect.
Yeah,
And props to him, he made a killer vocal sound.
yeah, he did
He
actually.
did.
Yeah, Steve Cannon was involved as well. Is he a friend of yours,
Yeah,
Cormac?
yeah, he's a long term friend, known since I was 18. And I will give props to Steve because I was looking for someone to record the clean vocals. It was down between him or Michael Murphy, another brilliant singer in Ireland. And I think Michael didn't, the timing didn't work.
Who
And
was he with
Steve,
before Michael Murphy?
he was with him without.
Okay,
And I think he's with Fires now, but they're not really doing a huge amount because he's quite busy these days.
okay. So Steve then with This Place Hell impressed you.
Yeah, this place held Jet Fuel Chemistry.
Mm.
Yeah, props to him. He recorded during the super early days of COVID where nobody knew what the hell was happening. He made time to help me out with this.
Yeah, that's cool. And again, it's different, isn't it? Really, just the contrast of the vocals, especially with two songs that we're going to play later on coming up. What I couldn't believe, right? And I did a solo project episode maybe 2 episodes ago. And the three lads that came on, shout out to Adrian Foley of Necrokinesis, Red Corcoran of Necrotized, actually, and I'm gonna get the third one, Roan of Terror Syndrome. All of them use programmed drums. So obviously there's an art there's an art form to using programmed drums. So
Yeah.
while I was listening to this, and I didn't do any research, Cormac, when you gave it to me, I just fucking threw it on the car and was playing away. And I was just going, man, Cormac knows his fucking program drums. That is seriously intensive program drums. And I was just going, fucking hell. It's a shame, really, they're so good. And then when I researched it, it was fucking Damien. Like,
Of course, it was
oh man,
Damien.
I was so happy to see his fucking name credited for that. Like, Jesus,
He had
excellent.
to be
Like,
credited for him. But yeah, I kind of, when I was going to this project, I kind of said to myself, I could use program drums, but I don't really want to. Like, of course, it makes total sense from like an economic standpoint because it costs a lot of money to record drums. It costs money to hire Damien. Well, not too much. It's not too much money to hire Damien. Jesus, I didn't want. It's just that he's a brilliant drummer. Whatever he wants to charge you, he's worth it. Trust me.
yes, okay.
But yeah, yeah, it kind of makes sense. Obviously, we need to find a place to record drums, pay the studio, then we have to work with it, and then we have to work on actually writing drums because I did program some drums as a sort of a demo as a guide for him.
Yes, of
But I just
course.
said I need real drums on this because I didn't feel like a proper release with program drums. Fair enough if that's what you want to do with your records. And I have heard some amazing records with program drums, or even just like an E drum kit. To me, I wanted that real sound. Like I didn't even want triggers on it.
Mm.
And yeah, so I just said, if I'm gonna make this EP, I'm gonna do it right. I'm gonna get live drums. And also, remember, I wanted a live band, so it made sense to get an actual drummer who could play the stuff.
Yeah, that's always the thing with program drums, especially as I'm a drummer myself. I'm always listening, especially the rap scene. They're terrible for the drum parts are just impossible.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah,
like
I
when
did write. I was a little guilty of that. I did write one or two bits like Bloodstained Wings, that blast section. That was originally doubled up. That's like 262 BPM, full on blast
Jeez.
speed. And I literally did have some drummers in the scene turn down the EP just for that bit.
Hmm.
Like I
Yeah,
said, like,
but
are you interested in doing it? They just couldn't handle it. But yeah, I worked with Amy and we just said, okay, this bit would work, this bit wouldn't. Most of the time I took his ideas, one or two bits I did kind of say, no, go with what's programmed because it feels better.
Yeah, yeah. I often think as well, one of my favorite albums of last year was Eternal Hell Cracks. Their drummer, I can't, his name
Yeah.
doesn't come to me at the moment. But what a fucking effort as well. Playing drums on that album. Jesus is brilliant. But like, yeah, it's got Damien's stamp all over this EP, man. It's fucking
Yeah,
brilliant.
props to
So it is.
Damien. He didn't even just record it once, he recorded it twice. Because the main issue that we need to help Josh's help with was the first version of the drums we recorded, technically they were bollocks. Like there was like mics going into each other, there was routing issues, like all like technical screw ups that the producer Richard couldn't fix.
Yeah.
And he wanted like stupid amounts of money for us to redo it. So pay us to repair his mistakes.
Yeah.
So, screw that. Thank
Okay.
you to Josh for saving our ass with that.
Yeah, fair play,
And
man.
for Damien for being
Yeah.
willing to record that twice.
So I'm gonna we're gonna work our way through. We're gonna do it track by track. There's 4 songs on the EP. Would you care to share your favorite song with us, Letty, before we start, or do you want me to play them and then you call it out?
Um, honestly, the EP, I haven't listened to a lot of EPs this year, but this is definitely on the higher mark of
Mm,
the scale. So
yeah,
I'd say all of them are my favorites.
yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Well, for me anyway. And now, as I said, there's 4 there, and it's very, very unusual for me to pick the opening track as my favorite track. Now, it might change as I've after listened to it now 10 or 12 times, but it's just fucking fantastic. And we'll talk about it, Cormac, as after the song is played, because there's a lot I have to ask you about it. So this is From Red to White.
time, free space, air flows, yet I'm afloat, held by a hand, twice the strength of mine, yet half the size. Looked in your eyes, no stories told as your cheeks turn from red to white. Stains and blood, I swear to you, I can turn your dress from red to white.
Oh man, that is just fucking class. So good.
So good.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I was kind of like surprised that From Red to White was kind of a bit of the unexpected hit of the EP. Like a lot of people are really gelling with it. Like,
Oh, okay.
yeah, no, obviously I like it too, but I just kind of thought it'd be maybe a bit too out there. Maybe just it kind of goes too many different places.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. That's what I loved about it. It was just like listening and your blast beats are going, and then this fucking, you're transported to a completely different place. And that music that came in there with that guitar, it was almost like tremolo guitar or whatever. And I was just going, oh, oh, I love when bands catch people on the hop, and
Yeah.
that song in particular, fantastic, man. And
Yeah, I
you
just need
know,
like a big like emotional response for that track because I think lyrically all I was going for was this very big cacophony of emotion, stuff like that.
no, did you say that? And how ironic you were saying Oppenheimer has come true now as a major movie. Obviously, you were ahead of the curve there, you know.
Yeah, I'm baited by accident. Yeah, no, I just more than about Oppenheimer, I found it was a very interesting character because if you don't know, Oppenheimer was the lad who led the team that created the first
Mm,
atomic bomb, which was dropped on Nagasaki and Hiroshima. But afterwards, and like as the bomb first exploded for tests, he uttered the phrase, "Iron become Death Destroyer," and he realized the true power of what he
that's
created,
right, yeah.
and he was horrified in a way. And later, when it became as the Cold War developed and nuclear technology developed for bombs, he became a very big proponent of stopping this because he recognized that this is too dangerous. And I'm a big proponent of the anti-nuclear mode because let's face it, with nuclear weapons, humanity has created its own suicide weapon.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to create this character that has arguably made the world a worse place. And just the emotions that would follow from that.
Yeah, and
I
the
think
paradox of it as well, that once he did it, then he's just like went completely against it, and
yeah,
nearly ruined
obviously
his career.
yeah, he was blacklisted from the industry and yeah, pretty much ruined his life for his morals. The character in this song doesn't quite go down that path. They make the world worse. Then it's more about their emotional journey through it,
Mm.
and then the rest of the EP is afterwards. But yeah, it's just funny how like I take this idea of Oppenheimer,
Back
and
in
then when I
2019.
do release it, I didn't even think about when I was saying the release date that it would coincide with a movie about his life. Which I still
And
need to
that
see.
is the one of the main things in the movie. I don't know, did you see it, Letty, yet, did you?
No. I've kind of just been watching the Barbieheimer memes from a distance.
It was genius, like putting those two together, or when they realized, like could we set the two together? It was like back like in 2020 when Doom Eternal and Animal Crossing came out the same week. It's like you could either slaughter demons or you could have a little farm, or both.
One of my classmates when I was in school in history, we all had to choose a historical event to do our project on. It was about 50% of our overall grade for the final 6 year. And he did Oppenheimer and the creation of the nuclear bomb.
Right.
So
Wow.
when the movie was announced, it was like William will like this.
Yeah.
Or maybe he won't because he'll be so busy like dissecting it.
Well, that's
I was
what
wrong.
happened to me.
That's wrong. That's only
Yeah.
slightly true.
Yeah. Yeah, I need to see it a second time. But again, the main part of that, I am become death destroyer of worlds is mentioned in that, and I think it's on the trailer maybe. What I want to ask Cormac as well, because there's that significant part of the song, where it's sang there is held by the hand twice the strength of mine, yet half the size. What does that reference or?
Something kind of other unworldly. Like my idea in this song is that this character is now trying to kill themselves, trying to leap off a building or something,
Mhm.
and he just feels something holding him aloft in the air, and he just sees a hand half his size, yet twice the strength because somehow holding up this giant man with no effort,
Yeah.
and just this kind of otherworldly sensation. And he kind of spends a lot of the rest of the EP kind of exploring this idea of uh, is there some sort of otherworldly, religious form or something like that.
Mm, okay. So like just the composition of that song, how did you approach it? Like, was there three or four different ideas? Or when did you write it? Was it one of the last songs you wrote, or was it one of the first songs? Or
It would have been one of the last songs. Like some of these songs I've had in my back
mm,
pocket or bits and pieces of it for their back pocket. Like Event Horizon, that's a Genova song that they didn't like.
okay,
Uh, but for Red to White, that would have been one of the later tracks. Uh, if you can't tell, I'm a huge Nave Lewis Scars fan. I just like being able to go between those different sort of styles. And with this EP, I kind of had the idea of I want to write music where the lyrical journey is kind of follows the song. Like
okay,
almost, I have a lyrical concept before the music is
mm,
created, and I had this story basically of having this moment of just floating in the air. I said this needs to be something extreme followed by something very soft because that's those are two extremes of the
it is, yeah,
human
Yeah.
emotion
yeah,
experience.
To me, musically, it sounded like Bullet for My Valentine and Deftones, especially with the chorus for Deftones.
Yeah, I'm not confused. Definitely on Blood for My Valentine. Yep, definitely a big fan of them. I think they were my first ever metal concert.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Were they
when I was
good?
like 14. Ah, yeah, that was like 2008 when they're really at their peak.
Yeah.
wow,
But yeah, like I don't really know if I hear that metalcore influence myself. It's probably just like stuck in my head somewhere. I'm refusing to admit it's there.
It's just a core memory at this point.
Just to embed it in my DNA.
okay. So we'll go on to the title track, "Bloodstained Wings." We give this a blast, and we talk about it then. Some fantastic lyrics there, and they suit the music perfectly with also the artwork. So a big shout out to Gavin Doyle, Symmetry Industry Studios. I haven't heard of Gavin being used now in a long while, so it's good to see him back.
Yeah, no, I think he just mainly does graphic design in the real world, away from music. But yeah, when I just had the idea, okay, I want to get a artwork made for this. Obviously, I had a basic idea, but I knew it would probably cost a lot of money to do like a real world photo shoot. So I said, okay, let's go art.
Okay.
Approached one or two, and I realized the problem with a lot of artists is they can price for a full band. I'm not a full band, like I can't split high cost between 5 members. Yeah. And Gavin gave me kind of a very reasonable quote, like definitely very, very good. And yeah, I just created that art. It was like, not what I expected, but still very, very good.
Yeah.
And I kind of told him this idea of, I need to leave with this idea of the person who should not have wings on them has very clearly gotten them through violence.
Yes, as the lyrics suggest, is in pure instinct I swung and sliced, suffocated into dirt, with her face down in the gravel, cut off my prize. The angel wings are mine. As I ascend through morning clouds, I know this angel crying sound, a dying song my angel sings as I ascend on bloodstained wings. Excellent stuff, man. A really great, conjures up great images, doesn't it, as well, of
really painting a picture of the main character of the story.
Yeah, funny story. I put that single out in I think April 2020 with his original plan in mind. Did quite well. My parents got wind of it. Now, I really don't talk music with my parents because, let's face it, it's me screaming. It's kind of awkward to explain it to them. They got word of it. And then just one day, my mom walked into my room and said, I read the lyrics. Are you okay? Is this affecting you? Like pandemics? It's a character, Mom. You wouldn't go to Stephen King and ask him if he's okay. She says, okay, this is why I'm not gonna share music too much with my parents, because they're gonna dissect everything to hell.
Yeah. I'm just interested as well in that, Cormac, is the bass is really up front in that song, and I really love that. Obviously, it's deliberate. Can you maybe explain why?
I like bass. I just wanted to have the bass on this record be kind of its own instrument, because a lot of metal bands get into the habit of just following the root notes.
Yes.
Or having no real. I can't follow this Pantera idea where it just follows the rhythm guitar almost to the tone, and it works a lot of the time. But a lot of songs it just doesn't, and definitely for a song like this, you need to do something a little bit different.
Mm.
And also, it's also the same problem. It's how many metal bands, the kind of leader of the band is the guitarist, so when they're mixing the album, it's kind of guitar centric. With me, I am the bassist. I am the guitarist, names, so everything gets equal love.
I love that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and again, shout out to Damien for a fucking terrific job.
Yeah,
on the drumming and that.
Yeah, then this island does not recognize what sort of talent it has in Damien.
Okay, track 3, Event Horizon, another fucking great song. Jesus. Okay, let's give it a blast. Letty, are you like me, wanting to see this live?
Yeah, like it's going to be an absolute pit starter when it's
Oh
live.
my God. It needs to be fucking played live, this EP.
It
Every
needs to
song.
be let loose.
Yeah.
It's just so hard to find musicians who could sort of play this sort of stuff. Like I'm no like some sort of technical wizard or anything, but just having sort of musicians who could play to this sort of caliber,
I
it's
love
just rare enough.
Whitechapel myself. I used to play a lot of Whitechapel. I still do. Just I don't live in Dublin.
See, here's the thing, I don't mind like people not living in Dublin. It's just like, can you just make like one rehearsal when we need to do it? It's like, I don't know, when I like do bands, like some bands are like, okay, we meet up every week, we do this. I'm more of a kind of more the modern guys. It's like, listen, we jam when we need to jam, we
Mm.
go where we need to. It's like, listen, if I find musicians who are up for it, then we'll make it happen. But I'm not holding up. Also, I'm dead busy with but like I reckon we will be launching. Like actually, I can tell you, we're gonna be launching very hard in the next month or so.
Okay. Another excuse to come on.
Exactly.
Yeah, like talking to Dara, he was saying like how aborted Earth, there Shannon is in Cork and Dara, I think, yeah, Dara and is it James are in Dublin.
Well, I remember, yeah, Shannon and her brother are in Cork.
That's right, yeah, the brother is in Cork, is
Jamie
it?
and
Jamie.
Dara and Dan are based in Dublin.
Yeah.
Well, Dara's slightly outside Dublin, but you get the idea.
Yeah, exactly. So they don't get to rehearse at all or practice, but yet they'll roll in and do a gig. I mean, it's kind of flying by the hat, obviously, but it suits Dara anyway. He's not too hung up in it. But you know, just we'll just park it for the moment because obviously a lot of solo artists get asked this, oh, this needs to be seen live, but no, this really needs. If you gave us two of those songs live, any two you want, Cormac, I'd be a happy man. Seriously.
Yeah, maybe one day, hopefully.
Yeah. Event Horizon itself, the track, my every molecule has been ripped apart. Not being only present, some strange concept far removed from man. This cannot be death, but it cannot be life. Is the protagonist stuck in this in between worlds there again? Yeah, or
Uh, yeah, it has kind of two meanings. On a very obvious meaning, it's the event horizon. This is the point where you've passed into a black hole, and within a black hole, you cannot escape. It's such a heavy gravitation field, even light itself can't escape.
hmm,
So it's this character who's ended up floating through space. Long story. Ended up floating through space. It's been stuck inside the event horizon, knowing they're doomed.
yeah,
They're gone. And it's not 100% known what happens in a event horizon. It's known you would literally every molecule in your being would be destroyed.
yeah,
But just to make sticking out for one more song and kind of put this weird idea of is there some sort of greater than spirituality?
hmm,
What if this character was conscious through it? He has no body, it's been physically ripped apart, but what if they're still there somehow? And there's the metaphorical meaning of extreme depression.
yeah,
Yeah.
Being stuck in this point where you realize, how is this life?
yeah. Hmm. The music definitely reflects it as well, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, like this is like the whole EP is like me practicing this idea of like, let's write music to the lyrical concept instead of the other way around. We're just like, it's bands, they write some riffs, they put the song together, then they pass it to whoever writes the lyrics and said, put something you feel like on it. I was like, to me, that feels like the wrong way. I feel like
Yeah,
you should do it the other way around. Have what your song's about. So the music definitely reflects the lyrical themes, and you could base it around that. And with this, I knew it was something Cthulhu. It had to be some sort of horror beyond imagination. And the Event Horizon literally is beyond what we can ever understand.
yeah. Yeah, I think of Jack Penders as well, having that whole concept as well. Big shout out to Jack, man. Ratlust,
I knew I'd
great.
stole it from somewhere. Yes, shout out to Jack. I love you, Jack.
Yeah, yeah. So the last track then, The Shadow, the obvious one to close, yeah.
Yeah, I felt like I love album closers. I love when a song it just feels like a closer. Like
Yeah,
how many albums where it just feels like it just ends.
yeah,
That's not good enough. I need a song where it feels like a proper closing. And I was making that, I felt like I need to wrap this up in a super epic way and just slowly calm it down. And I did this little thing where with Josh's, when we're mixing the end, I don't know if it was possible. Could you fade it out in such a way it feels like you're moving from this big, EP production to literally almost as if you were sitting in a room with a guitarist and Steven?
And it worked.
Yeah. It just makes it feel more real.
I love that. Jesus, that's really cool. Okay.
I didn't even know it was possible to do that sort of thing, like a fade out, but Josh found a way.
Josh found a way. Okay, this is The Shadow. Excellent. Again, so many different styles. That almost step, drum, step, drum, step, drum. Why was that put in there, for example?
I thought it sounded cool.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean, some concepts I like to think a lot about, some I do not. Does it sound cool? Yes, go with it.
Like, literally hearing that, like, come on.
Exactly. It's brings me back to do you know Radio Video by System of a Down when they just go into that reggae bit?
That's it, actually. Yeah, fair
Yeah.
enough.
I don't know it, but I think I could probably hear it in my brain, and I will give credit. I think Damon did a lot of work on this track in particular because now I'll send all my ideas and my program ideas. Usually he'll take the basses, like kick the snare and kick in the same place, but cymbals he will screw around with it. And I think that sort of offbeat thing, that was his creation.
Man,
Off beats are always a win.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, definitely, 100%. I just love, what you've done with all these tracks on it, Cormac. I mean, like,
Yeah, he is
I
very
genuinely mean it. Like, this is one of the best EPs I've heard this year, hands down. And like, what? Okay, so I'm gonna throw your mind back again to 2019, 2020. Was there any particular bands or albums you were listening to back then that could have fueled your passion for this, or even books, maybe?
I think you could definitely hear the Emperor influence there because I am a big fan of like symphonic black metal and that huge epic sound to it.
Yeah.
Naval Scars, they're always going to be stuck in my head and just thinking of like, okay, what huge epic thing are they doing that I could rip off? that's you could definitely hear that in the Shadow at the end. We have the harsh vocal and the clean vocal doing these very different ideas against each other. Oh, what else I listen to? Yeah, a lot of black metal, a lot of McGlaw. Think Event Horizon, that was a full-on Genova track originally, so you definitely have that.
Really, yeah.
Yeah, no, one was, I think we were writing for the second EP that never happens, or one with me with them anyway. And I just said, okay, I'm gonna write something slow and chuggy, has a little bit of a weird rhythmic feel to it, and I wanted to push more clean bits in Genova. I was just like, okay, can I mix this weird groovy deathcore sound we have with weird Cthulhian idea I have.
Worked.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, kind of a blessing they didn't take it in the end because now I was able to use it.
Yeah.
So this is obviously like a concept EP. How long did it take you to settle on the actual concept and like the content of it?
Um, I knew what I had to do a concept idea. Uh, I think I had maybe the concept of the song Bloodstained Wings and the basic story of that. Then I kind of run up, how did this character reach that point? What would happen afterwards? And I think I had more or less had the idea decided by spring 2019. Then I started putting all together the remaining music and gluing together the EP.
Yeah. Navigating Cormac as well, the whole yourself releasing, obviously. So navigating this through social media and trying to find an audience for it. How are you coping with it so far?
I mean, listen, social media is not my best point. It's like I do feel kind of weird, like reaching out to people to introduce the music to them. So I'm kind of hoping it just catches on, some people share it around. I mean, what I'm getting is people who are listening to it are liking it, and I am a few Twitch streams I've done. You know, people are slowly picking up on it. It's nothing amazing, like in terms of response, but like people are liking it. To me, that's the most important bit, and then how I can grow it from there. I'll figure it out because that's one thing I like about this project is it's just mine. It's
Yeah.
mine where I have the freedom to fail and the freedom just to fuck around and figure out what I'm gonna do and just test myself.
Hmm. Letty, what do you think about that? The whole navigation, self-releasing side of things. How can Cormac get a bigger audience? Or
Well, I have like a million different Instagram accounts.
yes, you
Uh,
do.
I do, for different things. I
That would be the
make
perfect time for you
parody.
to like get a sponsorship by Dashlane or something. I have a million Instagram accounts and I remember the password perfectly thanks to our sponsor, Dashlane.
They're definitely not all the same password. Um, I generally use for growing things the lower followed hashtags, which I find make a lot of difference, or the ones that you have like 100+ posts. They seem to be the best ones. And also, maybe recommend to you, there's a YouTuber called ARTV. He does Twitch streams and YouTube streams himself, but he does this thing where you can basically pay $5 and he'll react to some of your song. It's basically a little fee for a bit of promotion. He gets about 3,000 viewers a stream,
Not a
which
bad
is
call,
pretty
yeah.
good. I
Yeah, I've
just
seen a few of those sort of types hanging about. Like, yeah, it's definitely a weird way of doing promotion. Like, obviously, the big idea is go for a publicist and they'll get it out there to media. But like small stuff like this, yeah, that's honestly it's not a bad call. You just gotta make sure it's worth the money,
yeah,
even if it is only a fiver.
yeah,
Mm.
ARTV, I definitely recommend him because he has I'm one of his fans, so he's got a really solid fan base.
Yeah.
I was gonna write that down because today I'm learning something.
The internet's a scary place. TikTok I probably wouldn't bother with. I was probably gonna get banned soon.
Yeah, I don't know about TikToks. Like, I've heard a million different things. Like, some are saying like you will get serious movement on TikTok if you just give it a try and just kind of play the game in that a little bit. On the other hand, it literally might be made illegal. I say there'd probably be pushback against that, like serious pushback, as
I did
dodgy as the whole Hispanic connection is.
I did a little experiment actually. I have a TikTok account. I make very bad comedy on there, but I found you need to upload daily to get any sort of traction. I probably get about consistently 200 views and about 6 likes, but you literally have to be posting all the time. So if you're posting sporadically, it kind of won't be worth your time.
Well, yeah, that's kind of the story with all social media, though. Like, it
Not with
happens with Instagram.
Instagram.
A little bit. I find the first time you post after a bit of a break, you will get a bump because Instagram will plug it a little bit to your followers. But I find like even after like 2, 3 posts after that, your reach just is kind of gone. And that's one thing I did think a little bit when I was restarting the project. Off, wait, I've had this page for 3 years. I got a bunch of likes at the start, and then it just died off. I'm gonna get no reach because Instagram doesn't, or Facebook and Instagram don't trust me.
Yeah. I know that Adrian um has a paid ad up on Facebook because anytime I fucking go on Facebook, the first thing that comes up is Kinesis' new album. So I'm going, okay, so if I'm getting that, who else is getting it? So
Yeah, like
I
I did advertise the Shadow for the lyric video. Uh, I just didn't react to it that much. Whatever
yeah,
reason, it just didn't react.
I know. I know. And to what like I've been told 3 or 4 times already to put the Metal Cell podcast on Twitch. But you know what? I couldn't be arsed being truthful. Just like too
The
There's
much.
not.
copyright laws on there are ridiculous and they're so strict with the sort of language you use, it honestly wouldn't be worth it.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
I
That's
got
great then.
I
You're
got
What
no
welcome.
about
problem.
what about for Cormac? You were saying that you have some music plays on it. Is it playing guitar and stuff on Twitch, is it?
Yeah, just me playing guitar along with the EP and other stuff I've done, like Al Shirey, Horrenda, Genova, stuff like that. I play covers every now and then, like just tracks I just have on Spotify. I just know how to play through. I haven't got any problems with it yet,
But
but
like what are you getting kind of like is there people can do you think you can grow it as such on
I
Twitch,
mean,
the
there
music?
is space to grow on because there's not so much in the way of like metal guitarists there, but you need to be on like constantly regularly. You
Okay.
need to have a good visual presentation and like yeah, just being able to plug it really hard on the other social media because like that's the one thing that is going to drive you towards Twitch is having constantly posts on Instagram or Facebook or whatever.
One of my favorite American musicians, he's a drummer, his name's 66 Samus. He's played with Veil with Maya. He was on one of
Abigail
Devin
Williams.
Townsend's albums. He's just a super cool guy, but he streams every Tuesday and Friday and on Twitch and YouTube. And he gained like he had a big following before, but I think he's gained even more now.
Mm.
Yeah, I know, particularly in the last few years, since particularly then during the lockdown, Twitch just went shotting up because it was such a novel way for musicians to get out there. Also, I think drums are just visually far more interesting than guitar or vocals or anything like that.
Yeah.
So
It's a
if
good
you do
point.
say like if you have a guitar cover, people will watch it and like other guitarists will like it. But a drum cover, that's just so much more visually exciting to watch.
Yeah.
It's like, listen, I could play up and down the neck and yeah, it's not. Yeah, listen, all of it is just not that interesting to watch sometimes. A drummer, yeah, that's interesting.
If you scroll really far down on my Instagram, you'll find drum covers, but I'm not in it. It's just the audio.
No. Okay. Good plug anyway. I'm not in it.
Yeah,
But it's
exactly.
just-
Don't scroll down that far.
But which account is it though, Letty? That's the problem.
That's the secret I'll keep.
I know you're not plugging it very well.
While we're still plugging, Cormac, you can get your EP on CD.
Yeah, exactly. I got the CDs right over there. I got the T-shirts right over there as well.
Excellent. And there's
On
a
out
CD
there.
T-shirt bundle, I presume, yeah?
Yeah, it's just a simple CD. Like buy a T-shirt, you get a CD with it. Simple
Okay,
as.
excellent. I'll be purchasing one of them anyway. So
I love you.
looking
Thank you
forward
very
to
much, Richie.
it. Yeah. I appreciate people that put stuff on CDs, even though you
Yeah,
had
no,
a bit of a fucking issue with it, yeah.
yeah, no. I looking back, here's what happened was I ordered the CDs. I ordered like 25 CDs just because I wasn't hugely confident in how many I would ship, which to be honest, I was right. And what happened was I just paid him X amount and he said, I'll get it to you within 2 weeks. Okay, brilliant. So
Mm.
that's decent turnaround time. 2 weeks, someone goes like, where is it? So I said, I'm like, well, I'm to the CDs. I said like, sorry, I had a problem with the artwork. Could you send it again? It's like, so I did that. The guy was busy with work and other stuff like that. 8 weeks passed. It's like, wait a second.
Eight.
What are those
Jeez.
CDs? It's like, then the text was like, oh, I never got the artwork. I said, yes, you did. It says here, I sent it to you and you downloaded it. Oh, I didn't.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it just became a couple weeks back and forth on him. Just different excuses, him forgetting stuff, him taking on the website down at one point. So it's just like, oh, so you want me to lose contact with you? Problem is, for my job, I'm very good at open source research on the internet. I got his address and phone number, and I just made the point of, and I started the conversation with his full name. So, Mr. XYZ,
Yeah.
living at whatever street,
Mm.
you can either give me money back, or I can bring this to the small claims court with your exact details, you're not getting away with this.
Yeah. Wow.
I,
And it came to
but
that, man.
yeah, although looking back now, the website down, and the fact that I have a bunch of peers who are saying, no, he was fine with me. He got the order done pretty quickly. I said, like, that did work with me. Looking back, I think something might have been up with the lad. I'm not sure. I don't think he was purposely trying to scam me. I think something was up with the lad. And the fact that he took down the website maybe suggests it's maybe a bit more long term. Who knows? But yeah.
At least you got him anyway in the end, you know.
Yeah. I just went to another supplier they had sorted within a week. It's just like, where did they go with you in the first place?
Fuck it, trial and error, man. Trial and
Yeah,
error.
exactly. You find out who isn't worth your time. That was the boy about Shirey as well.
Yeah, Jesus, it's true. It's true. So, Letty, any other questions for Cormac before we wrap it up? You're going to hit him with a curveball, maybe. Go on.
I won't pull an Ardwar. I won't like drop your like credit card details.
I'll get those for you now.
I guess I'll ask my signature question.
Go on,
If you could collaborate with any musician, dead or alive, who would it be?
Oh, hard one. Again, I'll be a fanboy saying those Cars because they have such a crazy way of songwriting. It's just incredible. James Hetfield, because as a lyricist, he is a genius.
Yeah.
Also, you're gonna turn down a chance to be in the same room as James Hetfield. No, you're not.
Exactly.
No, you're not. No.
In terms of drummers, just trying to think. Like, I would love to work with like just some of the best drummers, like bass, Steve DiGiorgio.
I think
Drums,
Alex
like,
Rudiger would be a good shout for you for drums.
Yeah, that crazy German tech style. Like, yeah, I tend like I like this sound. That's why I like extreme progressive metal. Like, you take these ideas that are not extremely heavy, in my opinion, but you mix them with a tech death drum, and instead of the riff being super up and down the scale, it's something a bit more singable. I think you got a winning formula right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah,
so
just give me a crazy every tech death drummer you can think of.
Yeah. Well, Gene Hoglan for me, anyway, without a doubt.
Oh God, yeah, we want to work with him. Actually, Brendan Small, guy who does all the stuff for Deck Clock.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice.
there's
Nice.
good video of him and Gene Hoglan working together. Guys, down. These guys are super, like, how efficient they are. They take like a 30-second little clip of a song for the show, and they said, okay, let's turn this into a 4-minute actual track, and then you just come with that. Or you see the work he did. I'd like that. The musical he did with Deck Clock is like, listen to play this song, like, oh my God, I got proper chills coming up the arm.
He's got an episode on Drumeo, actually. I don't know if you've ever heard of that YouTube channel. Online drum lessons. They get celebrity
yeah.
drummers in, and Gene Hollinger did an episode.
Yeah, he did. What was it? The Philosopher, was it?
Yeah.
That was it. Yeah.
I
And I say that's why I say with content, go for drums, because it's just a far more interesting instrument when it comes to like video.
Okay, Cormac, listen, thanks for taking the time to come on the show. Congratulations again on one of the best EPs released in the Irish metal scene this year. I'm hanging my hat on it and saying it straight up. Please, if you're watching this, check out Cormac, get onto Bandcamp. He's got a bundle going. Let's get some t-shirts and CDs out there. And listen, continued success, my friend.
Thank you very much for having me, Richie, and thank you very much, Letty.
No problem. See ya.
And thanks, Eddie, for joining the show as well. And as I always finish with, please support your local metal scene.
Of course.